everyone, I am Asnara Erzid, a BS Ed student major in English, and I am your presenter for the topic Gitanjali by Tagore and Plays and Poems by Kalidasa. So let me start from the topic Gitanjali by Tagore. Now let me introduce to you Rabindranath Tagore, which is the author of Gitanjali. So Rabindranath Tagore first was a Bengali polymath who worked as a poet, a writer, a playwright, composer, philosopher, social reformer, and a painter. He reshaped Bengali literature and music as well as Indian art with contextual modernism in the late 19th and 20th centuries. So Rabindranath was born on May 7, 1861 at Kolkata, India. And he died on August 7, 1941 on Juransco, Thakurbai, Kolkata, India. He was married in Mrinalini Deve, and Rabindranath Tagore has more than 4 children, but only 4 was recorded, or only 4 children was put in the internet. They are Rabindranath Tagore Jr., Sabindranath Tagore, Madhurilata Deve, Mera Deve, and more. Now let's talk about the main point of these reports. Gitanjali, or in English, Song Offering. Gitanjali is a collection of poems by the poet Bengali Rabindranath Tagore, which received the Nobel Prize for Literature for the English translation. So he was the first non-European to receive this kind of honor. So let's talk about why this book is so famous. Why is it Gitanjali famous? What Gitanjali famous for? So Gitanjali is a poems authored by Rabindranath Tagore, originally written in Bengali, but Rabindranath Tagore translated in English. Were based on medieval Indian lyrics of devotion to God. Their translation to English in 1912 garnered with wide popularity among European audiences. So what is the main theme of Gitanjali? So the main theme of Gitanjali is, the major theme of Gitanjali is devotion to God. This paper focuses on Indian philosophical aspect and the theme of devotion. Gitanjali focuses in all pervading presence of God everywhere. Gitanjali brings each reader into direct contact with the infinite. What kind of poems is Gitanjali? So obviously it is a prose poems. The English version of Gitanjali, or Song Offering or Singing Angel, is a collection of 103 English prose poems, which are Tagore's own English translation of his Bengali poems, and was first published in November 1912 by the India Society in London. What is the moral in Gitanjali? It gave strength and lightly to bear joys and sorrows. It gave the strength to make love fruitful in service. Give the strength to never disown the poor or bend knees before insolent might. Give the strength to raise mind high above daily trifles. So it is a kind of books that will strengthen your faith to God. How Gitanjali reflect life. Gitanjali, or Song Offerings, offers all the human or possible human and spiritual values as a person, needs to be in harmony with himself, with society, and with the world, the universe at large. Tagore reflects how we can find joy in our lives. The songs are meditative, reflective, and remarkable for their spiritual character. So what does Rabindranath teaches us in his book Gitanjali? So Rabindranath teaches us that he believed true knowledge is that which perceives the unity of all things in God. Tagore, through his vast body of immortal literary works, taught us that universe is a manifestation of God and that there is no unbridgeable gulf between our world and God's, and that God is the one who can provide everything that we need, especially when we are in our lowest point of our lives. So this book teaches us to be faithful in God and always have the connection to God. Like we don't need to lose hope in every aspect of our lives because God is always there to help us to overcome every struggle that we encounter in our lives. So for me, as I research or as I read this kind of literary works like this Gitanjali, and through my research, it teaches me that literary works is not only about history, about school works, but it also, in literary works, it can bring you to connect with God. Now let's talk about Kalidasa, flourished the 15th century CE India. So he is a Sanskrit poet and dramatist, probably the greatest Indian writer of any epoch. The six works identified as genuine are the dramas Nanas Shakuntala, or in English, The Recognition of Shakuntala, Vika Vikramorvashi or Orvashi won by the Valor in English, and Malavikagnimetra, or in English, Malaveka and Agnimetra. So, and the epic poems are Raghuvamsha, or in English, Dynasty of Raghu, and Komarasvava, which in English, Birth of the War God, and the lyric Megadota, or in English, Cloud Messenger. So those are the work of Kalidasa, which made him so famous during his time. As with the most classical Indian author, little is known about Kalidasa's person or his historical relationship. His poems suggest that, but nowhere declare that he was a Brahman or priest, liberal yet committed to the orthodox Hindu worldview. His name, literally servant of Kali, presumed that he was a Shaiveti or follower of the god Shiva, whose consort was Kali, though occasionally he eulogizes other gods, notably Vishnu. Ashinhali's tradition says that he died on the island of Sri Lanka during the reign of Kumaradasa, who ascended the throne in 517. A more persistent legend makes Kalidasa one of the 9 gems at the court of the fabulous king Vikramaditya of Ujjain, but unfortunately, there are several known Vikramadityan or Son of Valor, a common royal affiliation. Likewise, the 9 distinguished courtiers could not have been contemporaries. It is certain only that the poet lived sometimes between the reign of Agnimitra, the second Shunga king, 170 BCE, and the hero of one his dramas and the eye-hole inscription of 334 CE, which lauds Kalidasa. He is apparently imitated, though not named, in the Mandasur inscription of 473. No single hypothesis accounts for all the discordant information and conjecture surrounding this date. So there is no specific information or records what time did Kalidasa was born or what time Kalidasa were existed. They are only hypotheses. Those information that in the Google or in internet are only hypotheses based on his works, which is nowadays or in the present is still existing. What is the first play of Kalidasa? So in the record, the first play of Kalidasa was the Malavikagnimetram. The Malavikagnimetram is a Sanskrit play written by Kalidasa. It is his first play, so the story tells or the play tells the story of the love of Agnimethra, the Shunga emperor at Vidisha, for the beautiful handmaiden of his chief queen. So the story was about a king and a normal or ordinary people or ordinary person, which was the famous play written by Kalidasa. So in the record, the most famous was Abhijnana Shakuntala, or in English, The Recognition of Shakuntala. His notable works include the play Abhijnana Shakuntala. It is a drama depicting love, separation, and reunion of King Dushyanta and Shakuntala and their son Bharata. So obviously, that's the only information that I have about Kalidasa, because unfortunately there are no specific date or information about Kalidasa. So that's the information that I could share to you. Through literary works, we can encourage everyone to have connection with God and strengthen our faith no matter how hard it is. Gitanjali or Rabindranath Tagore, I realized that Rabindranath Tagore is very or deserved to have the award, the Nobel Prize, or the first non-European to receive the honor, this kind of honor, because he only not share his knowledge about literary, but he also teaches his readers to have connection to the Almighty. And I think that's the main point of the award for Rabindranath Tagore. So, if I would summarize the two authors, they are both Indian, and we cannot deny the fact that most of the famous poet is from India. They are India or Indian people have many greatest poet or dramatist. So, which made them popular in terms of literary works. Thank you for listening, and again, I am Asnara Erzid, and if you have any question or suggestion or comments regarding my topic, you are allowed to ask me any questions or if you want to add any information about my topic. And that would be all. Thank you.